Stop. Look at the screen. Look at the silence. Feel the pressure in your chest, not because she is busy, but because control slipped from your hands, and you didn't notice when it happened. You believed kindness would make you chosen. You believed loyalty was earned by effort. You believed love was a transaction of goodness. So you gave more, you waited more, you explained more, you tolerated more, and slowly you became predictable, replaceable, invisible. You were taught that attraction is built on comfort, that safety creates desire, that consistency equals love. That is the lie. Desire is not born from safety. Desire is born from tension, from uncertainty, from emotional gravity. Right now, you have no gravity. Right now, you have no gravity. You reply instantly. You orbit her schedule. You bend your mood to her tone. You shrink your life to fit her attention. You think this is devotion. Psychologically, it is submission. Nature does not respect what begs to be kept. Psychology does not reward availability. Power is never given to the one who needs it. Power belongs to the one who can walk away. This is not about controlling her. This is about controlling yourself. You are not losing because women are cruel. You are losing because you surrendered your frame. Frame is the invisible structure of reality. It decides who reacts and who leads, who explains and who is obeyed, who waits and who is waited for. Right now, she is the weather, and you are the leaf. If she is warm, you feel alive. If she is cold, you collapse. If she pulls away, you chase. If she tests, you apologize. This is not love. This is emotional slavery. A man ruled by validation cannot command respect. Not from women, not from men, not from himself. Your transformation begins with absence. Not ghosting, not manipulation, priority. When you are always available, you announce a life with no mission. When you cancel your plans for her, you crown her queen of your time. Familiarity breeds contempt. What is always present loses weight. Air is free, gold is rare. Attention follows the same law. When you disappear into your work, your training, your purpose, something changes. Her mind fills the silence with you. What is he doing? Why didn't he reply? Who is he with? Did I lose something? Absence creates imagination. Imagination creates attachment. The moment you stop chasing, the game reverses. Silence is not punishment. Silence is protection. When she delays, the old you panics, double texts, explains, justifies. The new you places the phone down and returns to building a life she must earn access to. You do not withdraw to be cruel. You withdraw because your time has value, and valuable things are not free. Now understand this. Predictability kills desire. If you are always nice, you are boring. If you are always emotional, you are readable. If you are always available, you are forgettable. The human brain is addicted to uncertainty. It craves patterns it cannot solve. Slot machines destroy lives because they do not pay every time. Most men pay emotionally every time, compliments every time, support every time, forgiveness every time. There is no tension left, no mystery, no edge. You become a finished book. Finished books go back on the shelf. You must become unpredictable in emotion, but stable in values. Sometimes warm, sometimes distant, sometimes playful, sometimes silent, not as an act, but as independence. You stop mirroring her mood. You become your own climate. When she cannot read you, she studies you. When she studies you, she invests. When she invests, she attaches. Confusion is the doorway to obsession. Most men try to impress women by talking about themselves, their money, their job, their pain, their past. This is not confidence. This is fear in disguise. Influence comes from making her feel seen. You ask what no one asks. You notice what no one notices. You speak to what she hides. Why do you act strong when you're afraid? Why do you chase chaos when you want peace? When you reflect her inner world back to her, she feels understood. Humans bond to understanding faster than to beauty. But control lives here. You decide when to validate and when to withdraw. Validation is not free, it is selective. When it disappears, she feels the loss. She chases the mirror she saw herself in. She is not chasing you, she is chasing herself through you. Now destroy the pedestal. If you worship her, you kneel. If you kneel, you are beneath, and what is beneath cannot be desired. She is human, she has flaws. She makes mistakes. She tests limits. When you agree with everything she says, you signal fear. When you laugh at jokes that aren't funny, you signal inferiority. Disagree calmly. Tease lightly. Challenge respectfully, not to dominate, but to stand equal. Respect is born from boundaries, not devotion. A man who can say no is a man who can be trusted. A woman cannot love a man she can control. Silence is next. In arguments, the one who talks first loses. In seduction, the one who explains loses. In power, the one who reacts loses. Stop filling space with words. Let the pause breathe. 3 seconds of silence feels dangerous to weak men. To strong men, it feels natural. When she provokes, remain still. When she tests, remain calm. When she demands, remain measured. Silence reveals truth. And finally, the core of all power, your willingness to walk away. If you need her, she owns you. If you prefer her but don't depend on her, you own yourself. Men tolerate disrespect because they fear emptiness. They fear loneliness. They fear loss. But the man with purpose fears nothing. He builds his kingdom and invites, not begs, someone to enter. Boundaries are not walls. They are doors with locks. Respect opens them. Disrespect closes them. This is not cruelty. This is order. Control is not gripping her emotions. Control is mastering your own. You do not dominate her. You dominate your impulses. You do not manipulate her. You remove your need. And when need dies, power is born. You think power is loud. You think dominance is force. You think control is aggression. That is the fantasy of weak men. Real power is quiet, calm, unreadable. It does not announce itself. It does not explain. It does not beg to be understood. You reveal too much. You speak too fast. You expose your emotions like an open wound. Mystery cannot survive in confession. The moment she knows everything about you, there is nothing left to discover. And humans only chase what they do not fully understand. The more you reveal, the less you are desired. Your words leak your value. Every long message says, "Please don't misunderstand me. Please don't leave. Please approve of me." Silence says something else. Silence says, "I am complete. I am unbothered. I am watching." In every interaction, the one who needs clarity loses. The one who creates uncertainty leads. This is why princes spoke little and slaves spoke too much. You must learn to master the pause. When she asks a question, do not rush. Breathe, look, wait, let the space stretch. That pause shifts the frame. It makes your words heavy. It makes her attention sharp. Power lives in the space between words. Now understand this. Every woman tests, not because she hates you, but because she wants to know who you are. She will question you. She will doubt you. She will challenge your boundaries. Weak men panic. They explain. They apologize. They collapse. Strong men observe. They answer with calm, with humor, with certainty, not to win her approval, but to protect their frame. A test is not an attack. It is an invitation to demonstrate stability. When you fail a test, you teach her how to treat you. When you pass a test, you teach her where the line is. Boundaries are more seductive than compliments. Most men try to be liked. They shape-shift. They agree. They adapt. They become whatever she wants. And in doing so, they become nothing. Attraction requires form. It requires resistance. It requires structure. Water without a container spreads and disappears. Water inside a vessel has power. You must become the vessel. Your opinions matter. Your standards matter. Your direction matters. If she does not like them, that is information, not a crisis. Rejection is clarity, not punishment. Now look at your fear. Your fear is not losing her. Your fear is being alone. Loneliness makes men negotiate with disrespect. Loneliness makes men tolerate chaos. Loneliness makes men trade dignity for attention. This is why independence is power. When you can walk away, your words become real. When you can leave, your boundaries mean something. When you do not need, you are chosen. This is the paradox. You only keep what you are willing to lose. Clinging destroys attraction. Detachment creates it. Detachment is not coldness. It is self-possession. You still feel. You still care. But you are not ruled. Your emotions serve you. They do not command you. She cannot control a man who controls himself. She cannot manipulate what does not react. This is why silence terrifies manipulators. They need noise. They need chaos. They need emotion. Stillness exposes them. Calm is dominance in disguise. Now the final shift. You stop asking, does she like me? You start asking, does she respect me? Like is temporary. Respect is gravity. Like fades with mood. Respect remains with time. A woman may like many men. She submits to one. Submission is not weakness. It is trust in strength. She does not submit to your body. She submits to your certainty. She does not submit to your money. She submits to your boundaries. She does not submit to your charm. She submits to your calm. Certainty is the deepest seduction. This is why you must build a life, not to impress her, but to free yourself. A man without purpose becomes a servant to emotion. A man with purpose becomes the center of his world. Women feel this difference. They sense it in posture, in voice, in silence. You do not need to say you are strong. You move like it. You do not need to demand respect. You live like it. You do not need to threaten to leave. You already can, and when you can leave, she feels safe, because chaos fears structure, and desire follows order. This is the great illusion. You thought power meant controlling her, but power is mastering yourself. You thought attraction meant pleasing her, but attraction is becoming unshakable. You thought love meant giving more, but love begins when you stop needing. The man who is whole is the man who is wanted. So kill the version of you that begs, that overthinks, that chases. Let him die, and let the man rise who chooses, who waits, who leads. The throne was never outside. It was always inside you. You were trained to seek approval from teachers, from parents, from society, from women. Approval became your currency, and need became your language. But power speaks a different tongue. Power does not ask. Power selects. When you enter a room, you do not scan for who might like you. You observe who deserves your time. This shift changes everything. Your eyes slow down. Your posture settles. Your voice drops. You are no longer auditioning. You are evaluating. The one who chooses is never chosen by accident. Most men fear judgment. They fear being seen. They fear being rejected, so they hide behind humor, behind agreement, behind politeness. They wear masks. But masks attract only curiosity, never devotion. A woman does not bond to the man who blends in. She bonds to the man who stands firm. Difference creates polarity. Polarity creates attraction. If you think like her, feel like her, react like her, you become her emotional twin. And no woman desires her twin. Similarity kills tension. Contrast creates fire. Now understand this law. Every interaction is a negotiation of value, not spoken, felt. Who leans in first? Who explains more? Who seeks reassurance? These signals are read instantly. You do not need to say, "I am confident." Your behavior says it for you. Confidence is not loud. It is still. Insecurity is not silent. It is noisy. It texts again. It asks why. It demands clarity. Power waits. Waiting is a signal of ownership. Now look at emotional control. Most men think control means hiding emotion. That is wrong. Control means choosing which emotion gets to act. You can feel anger, but you do not explode. You can feel desire, but you do not chase. You can feel fear, but you do not retreat. You observe your emotions like weather passing through. Storms do not move mountains, they move clouds. Mastery is not numbness. It is command. When she senses this in you, something shifts. She no longer leads the dance. She follows your rhythm, not because you force her, but because your stability creates direction. Women do not want chaos. They want containment. A man without boundaries feels unsafe. A man with clear lines feels powerful. Safety is born from strength, not softness. Now understand the test of temptation. When attention arrives, most men become drunk. They overshare. They overpromise. They overinvest. They collapse into fantasy. Strong men remain slow. They let time reveal character. They let action speak. They let silence measure intent. Desire that rushes dies quickly. Desire that grows becomes loyalty. Speed is for fear. Patience is for power. Your presence must feel earned, not through money, not through gifts, but through consistency of self. You are the same man in silence and in pleasure. No performance, no mask. This creates trust, and trust becomes attraction when paired with strength. Now hear this carefully. The most dangerous man is not the aggressive one. It is the unshakable one. He cannot be baited. He cannot be rushed. He cannot be manipulated. He does not argue with chaos. He exits it. He does not compete for attention. He withdraws it. This is why walking away is the ultimate leverage, not as a threat, but as a fact. The door is power when you are willing to use it. Now you see the pattern. Absence, silence, boundaries, self-command. They are not tactics, they are identity. You do not pretend to be this man. You become him. When your mind is ruled, your life is ruled. When your impulses die, your direction is born. You no longer ask, what should I do to keep her? You ask, what must I build to become unmovable? This is the real seduction, not tricks, not games, not manipulation, presence, a presence so grounded that others adjust to it. Gravity does not chase planets. Planets orbit gravity. So release the boy who needed approval. Release the man who feared being alone. Release the self who begged for attention. And step into the one who chooses peace over chaos, control over impulse, purpose over pleasure. The world will feel it. She will feel it. And you will finally understand that power was never about her reaction. It was always about your position. You have walked through silence, through absence, through control, through self-command. Now you arrive at the final truth. Power is not something you perform, it is something you embody. The moment you try to use power, you reveal that you do not have it. Power does not chase outcomes, it creates conditions. You no longer seek to influence her emotions, you stabilize your own. You no longer react to her moods. You remain grounded inside yours. This is where everything changes. The strongest man is the one who cannot be shaken. You stop measuring your worth by her attention. You stop checking your phone for validation. You stop waiting for signals to feel alive. Your life becomes the signal, your work, your discipline, your silence, your direction. These speak before you do. A woman does not fall for words, she falls for structure. She feels the order in your mind, the calm in your body, the certainty in your movement. This is leadership without force. People follow what feels solid. Now understand this paradox. When you stop needing her, she feels drawn to you. Not because you ignore her, but because you are complete. Need is pressure, wholeness is invitation, pressure repels, invitation attracts. This is why chasing fails, and presence wins. You cannot pull what must be allowed. You no longer fear loss. Loss becomes feedback. Silence becomes information. Distance becomes clarity. You do not collapse. You recalibrate. A man who can lose without breaking cannot be controlled. This is freedom. Freedom from manipulation, freedom from emotional games, freedom from internal chaos. You are no longer a pawn in someone else's mood. You are the board. The game ends when you stop playing. Now look back at the old you, the one who overgave, the one who over-explained, the one who over-attached. He thought love meant sacrifice. He thought loyalty meant tolerance. He thought desire meant approval. He was wrong. Love requires boundaries. Loyalty requires respect. Desire requires strength. Strength is not cruelty, it is clarity. Clarity of standards, clarity of direction, clarity of self. Confusion is weakness. Clarity is power. You no longer chase connection, you filter it. You do not beg for attention, you grant it. You do not fear walking away. You are prepared for it. And because you are prepared, you are rarely forced to. This is the quiet authority of a man who governs himself. Others feel it. Without explanation, without announcement, they adjust their behavior around your presence, not out of fear, out of respect. Respect is felt before it is spoken. Now, the final integration. You do not use these laws to dominate women. You use them to discipline your mind. You do not become cold, you become clear. You do not become distant, you become directed. You do not become silent, you become intentional. The prince is not ruthless to others. He is ruthless with himself. He controls his impulses, his need, his fear, and in doing so, he becomes magnetic. Self-mastery is the deepest seduction. This is the true ending. You thought this journey was about making her choose you, but the real victory is choosing yourself, choosing your mission, choosing your peace, choosing your standards. When you do this, you no longer hunt for power. Power arrives, because power always follows those who are no longer desperate to hold it. You are not here to manipulate hearts. You are here to command your own. And when you command your own, others feel safe to surrender theirs. Not to you, but to the order you represent. This is not romance. This is structure. This is not control. This is stability. This is not domination. This is leadership. The world bends to the man who stands still. So stand. Stand in silence. Stand in discipline. Stand in direction. Let chaos move around you. Let emotions rise and fall. Let attention come and go. You remain, unmoved, unbroken, unchasing. The boy who begged is gone. The man who rules is here. And he does not announce himself. He simply walks forward.